Somebody's getting angry about this whole Layla thing. I mean, a guy wanted to know if it was added after the song was recorded, okay, and how long was Dwayne in the studio, and what did you think of the song Layla itself?
Oh, the song Layla itself was great, and the first I was totally against the piano because I knew it can't. It was tainted, all right, and so it never should have been tagged on to the song. And I raised such a fuss about it that it wasn't on the single. So the single was just the song Layla, which is a great song that Eric wrote by himself. You know, everything. He wrote everything about that. But when they tagged that on, I was totally against it. I understand the dramatic part of it. And at the end of the day, it led perfectly into Thorn Tree in the Garden, which closed the album. So, you know, had it not been there, it would have just been that romping, stomping. And
it was but it was added after.
Oh yeah, 2 weeks after. I fought it for 2 weeks, but I mean, Jim Gordon went to Robert Stigwood, Eric's manager, and they cut some sort of deal, and you know, I won't even go into all that. But
Eric wasn't happy with it either.
Well, Eric, you know, he's trying to stay out of it. You know, he was just trying to stay out of it, and that's really the truth of the matter. He said, I don't want to hear it. He walked out, and we're having a big argument about it in the living room at Hurtwood, and he said, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. And so he walked out the room. Jim Gordon went to see Robert Stigwood. Next thing you know, he's got a white convertible Daytona, a new kit of drums, and his piano thing gets tagged on the end of Layla. And we're on a flight to Miami to do it, and brought in Dwayne, and he screeched his way through a couple of takes, and that was the end of it. And Tom Dowd said, I'll make something of this. What happened was it was the last song on the reel. So it was spinning faster. It was a little bit out, a little bit sharp of everything. So he had to tone it back down to get it all to jibe right with with Dwayne's guitar, which he was steady having to work itself in, stretch tape, you know, do all these things to make something work. And that's how it was. But I don't know, young folks nowadays, they don't know about real recording with 2-inch reel, you know, big reel of tape like this, and an empty one over here. By the time this one gets to here, this one's going, you know.
Right.
So, I mean, it's the whole thing, the whole dynamics. And we had recorded the Layla album, I think there were 2. There might have been 3 2-inch tapes. I think there were only 2. But, and Layla was the last song, so it was at the end of the reel. So when we started the new thing, they put Layla on at the front of a brand new reel, and so it wasn't right. Stretching, it wasn't going through there right. So the tuning was off. So then the whole thing, people don't really know what key Layla was really in, you know.
Well, that goes for the whole record, but it was sped up.
But it sped up just a little bit.
Right,
to match
up
just to tighten things up. You know, they used to do that, just to tighten it up a little bit. But then the song Layla itself, with the piano part added to it, it all had to be adjusted because it went on the front of a new reel, right. And so it wasn't in the right position. In the inch depth and width of the other, you know, it goes like that. So it would be like, start like that, and then they go, whoop, you know, like that. So he ended like that, and then he come up here with a new one and started like this and tagged that on. It didn't work. So Tom Dowd had to use his genius to put them together.
So Jim Gordon was going behind Eric's back, going to the main man.
Absolutely.
And this is probably what caused the big rift between...
Oh, yeah. Him going to Eric's guy, his personal manager, Robert Stigwood, and Jim going making deals with Robert Stigwood. See, Jim Gordon wanted to be... He wasn't content just being the greatest drummer on the planet. You know, ask any drummer. They would tell you that at that time, he was the greatest drummer on the planet with the hottest band the best band on the planet. He wasn't content with that. He wanted to be a big superstar like Eric Clapton. Well, he would have been a big superstar had he kept his, everything together and not just followed along and just go with the flow. Don't try to get in there and stir things around. Well, it caused a lot of anxiety. And
So it was really the end of the band.
oh, he was definitely the end of the band. But that band was over before it got started. They already had plans. Carl was going back to play with Leon. Jim Gordon had already talked to Stevie Winwood, and he wound up with Low Spark High Heel Boys.
Right.
So, I mean, he was off to play with Traffic. That was just left just me and Eric, and he wanted to go do heroin for 3 years and not come out his front door. Wow. I was sitting around for a long time. I drove every road probably in that part of England. I was probably on every, because that was my spare time, what I did, and that's all I had was spare time. Go to the Bailiwick in Egham on Virginia Water, and that's now called something else. But I used to go to the Bailiwick all the time. We'd meet up with Donovan and Bobby Keys and me, so we'd just party, throwing down, having great meals, and I'd be driving that Ferrari I drove right late at night, so there wasn't any cars on the road, and I'd go out and have fun. Just trying to kill time. Nobody was interested in having me in their band or anything like that. Nobody called me and said, hey, B-Dubs, let's play, blah, blah, blah. That just did not happen.
I thought there was one person that called you. Who
Jimmy
was
McCullough.
Jimmy McCullough, that's it, yeah.
Jimmy McCullough. He was Henry McCullough's brother. Right. And what a lovely guy he was. He came over. He used to come over and in the pub, and I had a pub in Sunny Heights, Ringo's old house. And he'd come over and we'd have a jar or two and play and stuff. Just talk about doing this and talk about doing that, but I couldn't really do it because I couldn't get anything outside of where I was. And I was a member of Derek and the Dominoes, an equal member. We shared that thing, equally. And, well, it's still that way. Only there's two less to share it with now. It's only Eric and me. But I couldn't dump him. I couldn't suddenly not be who I am, who I was then, a band member. I was just trying to wait till he got over what he was under. And that, I couldn't wait any longer, I had to get on out of there, touch and time to go.